All right, guys, welcome to the Taj Mahal. It's Saturday, September the 16th, 2023. We're a day away from British Car Day up here, largest British car show in North America, hosted by the Toronto Triumph Club. And we are taking the 73 Triumph TR6 tomorrow to the show, and hopefully we'll take some video while we're at the show. I just wanted to do a really quick video, not on this car, but on the 62 Triumph TR4 RUSToration project. I mentioned in a previous video that I would go through the costs of the restoration, and I asked you on a previous video to play along and make some guesses as to what that would have cost. So I have put the numbers down on a piece of cardboard, and let's have a look and see what the actual cost of the restoration were. One more thing. Before we get into the breakdown of the costs for the 62 TR4 project, I just wanted to give a really quick thank you to all of you, the viewers and subscribers to my channel, and specifically the people that comment on my videos. I really enjoy being able to interact with each and every one of you on my videos. So if you've made a comment on any of the videos in the 62 TR4 series, I appreciate it. And like I said, I really enjoy interacting with you. I try to respond to each and every one of the comments in a timely fashion. So thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thanks for subscribing. Let's get on to the cost breakdown. All right, here are the two big pieces of cardboard with all of the costs involved. Again, we did not involve our labor costs, and we didn't even really keep track of our labor costs or number of hours that we put into this project. We're probably somewhere between 300 and 400 hours, I would just take a quick guess at. We didn't work full 8-hour days on the project. We maybe worked a few full 8-hour days, but generally it was a couple hours here and there when we could fit it into both of our work schedules. All right, let's take a look at the list and I'll break it down a little bit for you. Now, on the previous video, when I'd asked for your guesses, I had mentioned that we're going to be starting with a base of $1,000. And that really covered things like paint and undercoating and fasteners, and it includes something like the safety certificate. It also accounted for the tire mounting. If you recall, on the original set of rims, I had a set of tires mounted and balanced. I think that was about $180 of that $1,000 cost. So that's where we started with as far as the base was concerned, $1,000. Now, the bulk of the expenditures came from Moss Motors, and you can see the invoice numbers here listed on the side. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total invoices from Moss. The largest one here, this is US dollars on the left-hand side and Canadian conversion on the right-hand side. So this was the initial purchase from the big list, I called it, when we first assessed the car and figured out what we needed to get initially. So $2,285 Canadian for that initial Moss purchase. And then there's the breakdown of the remainder invoices in US and Canadian dollars. Now, you'd think that would be a lot of high expenditure parts, but in reality, it's a very few parts over $100. Most of them were small parts, whether it be fasteners or bushings or whatever for the car. The only items that exceeded the $100 per item cost were these 4 items here: the alternator, the door trim, the calipers. I actually bought new calipers for the car because they were on sale. And by the time that I would have, bought new pistons and new seals, it made sense just to buy the new calipers price-wise versus actually just buying the parts to fix what I had on the car. This is the brake pipe set, the copper nickel brake pipe set. So only 4 items over the $100 individual $100 mark out of all of these invoices from Moss. All right, next item on the list is the carb rebuild. And as you know, we had Dr. Carburetor help us out on this project. Now, the bulk of that cost is not from Dr. Carburetor. It's actually the cost of the authentic SU rebuild kits. I was shocked at the price of those. I think off the top of my head, they were close to, I'm going to say $550 Canadian for 2 rebuild kits for the SUs. And then the remainder of the cost went into Dr. Carburetor's talents for cleaning and refurbing, replating items on the car, and obviously coming back and helping us tune the car to a degree. So $950 for the carburetor rebuild. Next up on the list is the Poppy's Patina. This is the wipe-on clear coat, and that was $170 Canadian. Then we decided to put a new high torque starter in, and we ordered that from British Starters. That was $205 Canadian. And again, that's probably something we didn't necessarily need to do. We probably could have stuck it out with the original starter that was in the car, but I was looking at upgrading certain elements of the car, like the alternator and like the starter, just to get some longevity out of them, let's say, and some reliability. I always like the British Starters because they are obviously a high torque starter, and they just spin the car up a little bit faster. And as mentioned, if you ever get into trouble with the car and the car conks out in a live lane of traffic, you can always use the starter to move you off to the side of the road safely. That's why I like the British Starter. Again, this car is going to be going on, or taking on some seriously long road trips, and something like the alternator is a lot easier to replace when you're on the road versus trying to find parts or fix an old, 60-year-old generator. Some of you probably watched the carpet video on Alin's channel. Alin handmade the carpets for the car. Material-wise, that was $105 to buy the carpeting. We probably could have got an extra couple of feet. We did run out of carpet to actually do the trunk carpet, and I'll probably end up going back at some point and buying a little bit more carpet to do that. So $105 just for the materials. So that was the carpet itself, and the binding was $105. So our batteries up here are quite expensive now. This is not the most expensive battery. This is not an AGM battery. This is just a regular old battery with good cranking amps and I think a 3-year warranty. $215 purchased from Napa up here. I believe I could have got, or there's a $20 credit in there, I think, for the old battery return. So knock 20 bucks off of that, I guess, if you really want to, but I haven't returned that battery yet. The steering wheel was a Spring-Alex wheel, order off eBay. Can't remember the vendor's name. This is one of the cheaper wheels you can get, wheels and bosses actually, because I had to buy the boss as well. That was $235. And the last item I have here on the list is Amazon. I did make quite a few purchases through Amazon, things like the horns, the top frame webbing, the fuel lines, the electric fan, the fuel filters, for example, on the car, and there's many more items. So that all added up to about $300 Canadian from Amazon. And as mentioned, the base price of $1,000. So what is the grand total that is on the second set of cardboard? Drum roll, please. All right, let's see how well you guessed. So there are all of the invoices added up. And there is the total cost in Canadian dollars, $7,036 Canadian, which is the equivalent to 5,202 US dollars with the current currency conversion rates. I just wanted to make a note that we did not capture the cost of the wheels and tires. If you recall, originally when I started with the car, I had cleaned up a set of rims that I had that came on my 1960 Triumph TR3, and we mounted a set of tires that we thought would be usable. Unfortunately, the tires didn't work out for us, nor did the rims, so we ended up taking the rims off of the 1960 Triumph TR3 that I had and put the wheels that we were originally going to use for the TR4 back on the TR3. So we did not have to buy wheels, or rims if you want to call them, and tires. So I would estimate, though, at some point we're going to have to buy tires if we keep the rims on the 60 TR3. We're going to have to buy tires for that. So that would probably be in the range of $800 to $1,000, I suspect. By the time the tires are actually purchased, mounted, and balanced, we're probably looking at a minimum of $800 to $1,000. And if not more, depending on the tire brand and type that you buy. For example, Vredestein Sprints here are extremely expensive, and that could put the total up more in the $1,200 to $1,300 range if you're going to go to something like a tire like the Vredestein Sprint. All right, so there is the breakdown of the restoration cost of the 62 Triumph TR4. Now we'll get back to cleaning this 73 Triumph TR6 up for British Car Day tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the video series. We will see you on the next series. Obviously, we're going to take some video, hopefully from British Car Day, and we're going to probably take some videos from the trials. But as far as projects are concerned, the next project that we're going to start back on is the 59 TR3 that is waiting here patiently for my return from the trial. So stay tuned. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. See you on the next one.